It's been way too long since we had this fine young gentleman on this program. Last time I had Edgar Reinfeld on this show, he wasn't the chief of police yet. He was still the captain. Of course, Steve Crown stepped down. You were given the gig, and now you have another gig. He's wearing two hats. I've never known this gentleman to even wear a hat. Come to think of it, now you're wearing two.
That's only weather-related.
Chief Reinfeld joins me, Chief Edgar Reinfeld from the Wenatchee Police Department, and the interim city administrator taking over for Laura Gloria on the first day of September. Two hats. You were already a pretty busy guy to begin with, Chief.
Yes.
They realized, you and the mayor and a bunch of other people, leadership at Wenatchee City Council, when Laura Gloria gave fair notice, she gave them a couple of months.
She did.
And yet by mid-August, they realized that a qualified candidate for this very important job hadn't yet developed.
Okay.
And so things kind of just morphed, and Laura was pretty hard set. Last day of August, and I'm gone. The city needs an administrator. It kind of just happened, didn't it? Talk about how this whole organic thing of you taking some of Laura's responsibilities kind of came about.
Sure. So when Laura announced her departure, we met the remaining directors and the mayor, and she built us a great list of duties, really broke down, here's what I'm working on. And so we took that and we started breaking it up into slices. If it's relevant to public works, hey, Tom, it's going to be stuff that we're going to need you to spend some time and effort on. The items that were related to IT is, of course, Elizabeth's deal. Stuff that had to deal with parks and long-term acquisition stuff with parks is for Dave. The police stuff was, of course, mine. And thankfully, there weren't a bunch of new things I wasn't involved in already. I was already involved in the police stuff on our list. And we just broke it up that way. And the mayor took a significant portion of those onto himself as well as the guy who's responsible, not only by code, but by common sense. And so when I look at it, time went on, Laura separated, trying to figure out what to do. We put out our initial search without doing like a headhunter type national search, like did the low cost method. We advertised. We generated a significant number of applicants. And so the process has been for the department directors to get together and to check on those applicants, see what we think, try to determine who we want to pull forward for interviews and potentially hire. And there's been a very large pool of applicants come in, but we haven't had a group of them come forward as being like, this is the fully qualified, experience base, everything else that we're looking for. We've had a very small number that we've decided we want to move forward and talk to. So I personally like to have 5 or 6 candidates in a pool, so you can do 5 or 6, then into 3, work your way through and doing something significant, especially when hiring for supervision, management, or executive level stuff. In this case, we don't have that still, and so we're considering further things. But after this has been gone on for a little bit, Mayor Poyer came to me and said, hey, I think I'm going to have you be the interim city administrator. Some people may be happy about it, some may not be. We'll see how it goes. And then appointed and through council, approved by council to go forward, and not without a lot of discussion. It's a serious undertaking. It's a serious concern. It's a lot.
And it can't be rushed.
It cannot be rushed. Like finding the right selection can't be rushed. You can't even rush the simple thing of appointing an interim. I'm still an Air Force reservist as well. I still have another executive level job I do for another 350-ish days when they finally send me down the road after 33 years. So like I say, I'm wearing 2 hats. I wear 3. Sometimes it feels like 11. Sometimes I'm just a big, I'm a haberdashery, but focused on hats. And there's a lot of them in there. But with that focus on multiple areas, it's something that I'm capable of, something I feel confident with most of the time, so long as I get some level of comfort with what I'm doing. But with that, as we continue to move forward, we'll try to find that right candidate, or try to find hopefully a small batch of the right candidates. And it might include revising what we're looking for a little bit. It was interesting, in August, probably 2 days after Mayor Poyer approached me about this, I went to a class. It's CISM and GRIN, so it's a critical incident stress management, and it's group intervention. I can't remember what the N is, but it's for helping people with their mental health after critical incidents. And they put on a new one for chiefs and executives, trying to get more senior people qualified to do this for each other and just have a better understanding when we have critical incidents. We've had plenty. We've done plenty of CISM things, whether it's Decker, whether it's this most recent homicide, whether it's a horrible fire season. suicide and loss in an organization, as we saw in Wenatchee Valley Fire in the last year. All of these things matter. But I go to this class and we're doing introductions. I say I'm the chief of police for Wenatchee. I have been for about a year. And as of next week, I'm also the city administrator. And there was this just collective in the room, just like, ooh. But it was funny. It went around the room a little further. And there's a guy from Oregon who's in the class who says, I'm the chief of police. I'm the city manager and have been for 4 years. And I'm also a captain for the fire department. Now, a smaller city, but he came to me later in the week and he's like, it's almost impossible to find what you're looking for. And no one is having the level of instant success and gratification you would hope for. Like, if I put out this great job, I should get candidates. We talk to people, we're going to hire somebody, we're going to work them to be great. Maybe they're not for us, and they move on. It's just not happening for these roles, apparently, at least in the West and maybe nationally. And so I don't think we're in a unique spot here, having trouble finding the right candidate quickly. We're just going through the evolution like everyone else and trying to figure out what exactly it means and who exactly we need and who exactly we can build into the person that
so
we're
there's no real hard set in concrete timeline. We need a new administrator on this date at this time. When the right person comes, the right person comes. But there also come a time where everybody wearing all these little hats, regardless of the great department heads in the city, it becomes unsustainable.
Right, and
this can't go on forever.
No, the sustainability, we don't want to be doing this for a year.
No.
We don't want. I would love sometime in the first quarter of 26 to have a candidate that we're getting through our background and that we're putting them on would be great. But in the short term, that next 8 to 10 weeks, I'm fine continuing what I'm doing. I'm fine continuing what I'm doing as long as it's necessary to get us where we need to go. But the burdens do accumulate. It's the end of the year, so we're closing out a year, then we're about to start a new one, and there's a lot of things to do, and some of them are going to get a little competitive with each other for time and resource.
How did your two captains, who each have administrative duties at the police department, who report directly to you as captains, did you go to them and say, now, you guys are going to be a little busier too, because I'm going to be heading up to City Hall more often?
So what the interesting thing is, like, Captain Miller's just over a year now, because he replaced me when I got promoted to chief. So for them, yes, we've talked about that. We broke down duties for the beginning of 2025. We're going to reevaluate those as we hit evaluation time right here annually and look at what should we do next year with these duties, with these assignments. There has been some additional burden shifted to them at times, but our work, our profession of police work, is this barely controlled freight train of circumstances, and it just kind of clatters down the tracks, and then another siding pops up, and either more stuff rolls onto it or exit ramps some stuff off of there, and it's continuous. So we set broad areas of assignment, broad areas of responsibility. We plug and play things as they go, but then new things pop up. New legislation pops up and changes a rule. A new case law thing pops up and changes a rule. So we have to be very flexible with assignability. The great thing is they're both fully dedicated to getting it done. In fact, our sergeants and even our corporals and even officers in some programs are also fully engaged. So when we find a program sometimes, it may not need to have been me ever from the start, or even a captain. We may start it with me and the captains, get it sorted out, assign it to a sergeant who's more than willing to take the assignment, is more than capable, and we go. We spread that decision-making authority to the lowest level possible in the department at all times, which is often not very low. Certain decisions by law are my problem and mine alone. But by doing that and by spreading that workload, we've actually tried to maintain some level of balance across the system. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes it doesn't, but it feels like it's working. And we'll get through this circumstance just like any other.